Hello and welcome along to live match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble. Yes, Ian, that is us starting. I know you were getting a wee bit impatient. Hello and welcome. I'm Martin, and joining me is Ross, Kerr, and live from Ibrox, Wilf Marshall. Wilf, how are you? And is your internet better outside Ibrox
Evening, guys.
than it is in Aberdeen? I would take that as a nod in, Wilf.
Sorry, I lost you there, Martin. What was that?
I was just saying, is your internet better there than what it is in Aberdeen? But obviously, it's not.
Anyway, the 4G here is not much better than Aberdeen Wi-Fi, to be honest.
Anyways, obviously, Rangers drawing 0-0 with Brighton in the penultimate, which for years and years I thought meant last, but apparently it means second last. And the penultimate pre-season friendly 0-0. Sorry, Wilf is completely putting me off. He's got all this going on. But before we come to the game, Ross, there was a lot of talk. Rangers obviously announced the new away strip. There was quite a lot of people on Twitter going a wee bit mental. I don't know so much. It doesn't really bother me. But would you make it?
I like it. It's black. It's black, so that's for fat guys like myself. Black's always a winner. It's the svelte look with the pinstripes. I like it, mate. I think it's you'll buy it. See, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if we've not got enough kit to buy if you don't. For me, buy it. But
I know, listen, this is probably the worst start to a show that we've ever had. Kerr, going to save us. The away strip, what's your thoughts on it? For me personally, just before you jump in, I'm not that really fussed about strips, to be perfectly honest with you, but would you make it a new away strip?
I think it's all right, Martin. I don't really buy as many kits as I used to. Buy the home shirt and that's about it. But I agree with Ross. I actually quite like it. I like a black kit, so I'll not buy it still. I don't buy a lot of football kits, but if my son's wanting it, I'll get one. So, because I think it's quite a nice kit.
I know. And listen, hello to everybody in the comments. I've just noticed there's loads of them. I will get to them. Curry Muncher, do you know what? I've lost it, but I'll find it and I'll bring it back. One thing I did want to pick up on, I've got no idea if it's true or not. Kerr, I think you mentioned it in the chat, that Edmondson is gone. Are you hearing this rumour as well?
I've heard it, but I don't know if it's 100% true. I've heard that he's been not released, but he's went to someone, but I don't know. The rumours are, Martin. I've heard he's away. He's not included today. Obviously, he's not even been mentioned today. I know Clyde mentioned a few other players, but he wasn't the one he mentioned. So, to be honest with you, I don't know where he's going. I think he's one of the players we're going to be letting go anyway. I'm not sure. I don't mean for free, but we're letting him go either loaned out or a fee with somebody. So, if he does, good luck to him.
If it is the fact that he's gone, Ross, I don't think it's any real great surprise, is it?
Nah, he's not of the standard that we've had between Goldson and Balogun and Helander. So the fourth guy in that, you've obviously had last year Edmondson. Now you've got Katic back. So for me, he'll be your fourth centre half. Katic and the boy Simpson actually the night I thought had a decent game, considering we spoke about how we've not been too impressed with him up until then.
I know, we'll come to the game in a minute. I'm going to attempt one more time to go live to Glasgow to Wilf. Wilf, can you hear us?
I can, yep, I can hear you.
We were just talking there, Wilf, about Edmondson and the rumours that he might possibly be away. I think to Peterborough, but I'm not 100% sure. But if that was the case, Wilf, would you be surprised?
No, you're breaking up, Martin. I can't hear you.
All right. Well, listen, Wilf, we will try this another time we get outside Ibrox. I will let you go. Cheers, Wilf. Oh, well, there you go. This has been a fantastic start to the penultimate pre-season friendly. See, it's good to get all the rubbish out the way before you get into the real season.
Aye.
Right, so the game, Kerr, can we be brutally honest and just say that it was, apart from minutes in the legs, getting to see a few new signings, the actual football itself was a wee bit of a non-event?
I actually thought we were okay, to be honest with you. I thought we played some decent stuff. It wasn't a fast-paced game. It was a pre-season game, like you says, but I thought was a lot better than last week's game. I thought we played. I thought we played a far better than last week. We're just missing somebody up front. And I'm just thinking if Morelos doesn't come back, or if he comes back with the attitude of saying I want to go, where does that leave us? Because I don't think we've got anybody that can replace him. I know that was probably one of your points you're going to put into the pod, but I just thought I would bring it up anyway.
Kerr, what Ross Clark, who's currently on the pod, right, has commented in the YouTube to say, what's worse, Wilf's internet or Martin's fringe? So people in the comments, if you want to play this game of what's worse, Wilf's internet or Martin's fringe, please do play away. Ross, you dick, what did you make of the game?
Mate, I was actually quite impressed with us. I thought we knocked the ball out well. The young boy Kelly again, don't mess it, mate. We've seen it. Looks as if you cut it with a knife and fork. I thought the boy Kelly done really well. I thought Jordan Jones looked lively. Itten looked lively. John McLaughlin looked sharp. I thought we done well, mate. It's another game closer, isn't it? I thought we done well.
I know. I'm going to get to some of the comments, and what I will say is, of course, a lot of the comments coming in from members. We have obviously started a membership. If you want to join, hit that join button underneath the video. It'll be very, very much appreciated. We have got a show lined up on Tuesday. I think I can probably tell it now, Ross. You and Scott Kennedy are recording our first ever show for our members on YouTube.
Potentially. Depending what kind of wages you offer, man. Depending on what you offer. No, I mean Scotty are going to have a wee general kind of chit chat run about day-to-day stuff and see where it leads. With me and him, it could lead anywhere. There could be some dark holes we go down, but I will see how it goes.
And because obviously it's for our members only, it maybe contains stuff that you might not see or hear on a normal pod. Although I'm not 100% sure if I want to allow this to go ahead. But if you want to become a member and help support the Rangers Rabble and help support RYDC and the former Rangers Players Benevolent Fund, please do go ahead. Right, Kerr, as far as individual things happening throughout the game, I've got nothing in my notes apart from in the 70th minute, Bazuma, really bad challenge in Balogun, and I'm thinking, even though it's a pre-season friendly, it's probably a red card.
He was flying through the area, I think it probably was a red card, but obviously he feigned injury, didn't he, to say I was injured here, so don't blame me. There wasn't a lot of that challenge again. I thought the one that the boy done in Hadji, and then we scored from it. I didn't think that was a free kick either. But it's just a pre-season game, Martin. But I thought we ironed out a lot of things, passing-wise, tempo-wise. I thought we played really well, and I thought even after we changed it a bit. I mean, we didn't kick off as much, but they came into the game, but I thought the starting lineup played really well, to be fair, with the boys. And I thought Stephen Kelly, every performance the boy's putting in, he's making himself more available for a starting position. I know it's not going to happen, but he just doesn't look out of place whatsoever. And he's so comfortable in there. He's intelligent, he's confident. He just doesn't care who he's playing against. He plays the same football. Does it with Ross County, done it with United, and he's doing it with Rangers. So this lad's going to be here for a long time, because I think under Stephen Davis, who's not got long left, I think Stephen Kelly could step right into his boots.
That comment from Curry Muncher, that was a shocker and should have been a red, and also Hadji's goal was brilliant and the foul decision was terrible. That's also true. Actually, we'll come to that in a wee second. But Ross, just on Stephen Kelly, look, this boy can go wherever he wants to go. I thought, again, he was outstanding today. I don't care how far Brighton are into their pre-season. He's up against a Premier League team, and a Premier League team that done very, very well last season, and he stood out. I thought he was excellent. Yep.
Obviously, the tail end of last season, when we were talking about Ali McCann, obviously when we were watching St Johnstone and seeing him, but the boy Kelly was one that we did say could come in and stake a claim and maybe do that role with better players on about him, and he certainly, as you are saying, he certainly hasn't looked at a place in our midfield. So again, if you've got better players on about you making better movements, when you're the type of player he is, who's comfortable on the ball, who's going to look to find people, then he'll have a home in our midfield for as long as he wants it. As you say, he looks a natural Rangers player.
No, he really does, Kerr. I don't know so much of, there's no chance of him getting a spot in this first team. I agree with you. It's probably highly unlikely he's going to play in front of, Davis or Kamara. But, he can't do any more. He's really, really pushing.
He can, and I think obviously Steven Gerrard sees something in him because he's been playing him every pre-season game since they've come back. So he's not done that with a lot of other young players. So obviously he sees something in him. He knows his ability, he knows what he can do, and he seems to be confident. You see him every time he took a drinks break, they were talking to him and stuff. So they must think he's nearly ready. So if that's the case and the boy plays like this, it doesn't matter your age, Martin, because this boy has got the ability, he's got the confidence, and like I said, it just seems like he slots in there, no bother, and I wouldn't be afraid of putting him in a game in the SPL.
Can I just say a big thank you? And I always have to say this because we've got a new member, and I have to apologise for the colour that YouTube bring up. If anybody in the comments knows if you can change this, please do let me know. But Jedi Bob, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Rabble, and I hope you enjoy all the extra content that you get behind the scenes. Get using those custom emojis as well. I think we've got Morelos, Gerrard, we've got loads. So get using the custom emojis. So thank you so much for becoming a member. Ross, Curry Munchers, I suppose the passing was a lot more crisp in this game. I agree. I hate saying this. I say it all the time. Jordan Jones looks good for 5 to 0 minutes. I think it obviously means 10. And then it was missing after the rest. Jordan Jones, it does sound a bit like, we're always picking on the same players, but he's had his chance in pre-season. Nobody can say that Gerrard hasn't given him a chance. Yeah. But for me personally, and I'll obviously ask you your opinion, he just hasn't took it, has he?
No. I'm a big fan of him, mate. As you know, I'm always bumming him up in the chat how I think he's got a place in the team, but he's been given a lot of time in pre-season, and as we spoke about, you're talking about the Morris game now. Ryan Kent's going to need to start getting minutes. Sakara's going to need to start getting minutes. So I think his game time now is going to be a lot less. I think this was his kind of last throw of the dice. I think the boy is a good player, but I think the way we need to play, even at the night, they sat back a good bit the night, I thought, as well. Their fitness showed they weren't as fit as us. And Jordan Jones is a boy who needs the ball played over the top or in behind for him to run onto. He's not really got that. He's not a passer or a dribbler, do you know what I mean? He's an explosive runner who can finish. I don't think he's going to... To be honest, I know that he's the exact same category for me as O'Halloran when he was here. They're two boys that look great playing for a counter-attacking team. But if you're in possession of the ball and you're playing the game in front of the defence rather than going in behind, I don't know if they're suited to Rangers, to be honest.
I know, and I don't like to say it about any player that pulls on, the blue jersey. Kerr, but Wilf, even though he can't make it on the pod, he's contributing with his comments. Jones is trying too hard, and actually, I did say that during the game that it looked. There was one point in the game, Kerr, the ball, he got the ball and it just ran over his foot, and you could see in his face that his confidence is gone, and he's just trying so hard to impress.
I think that happens, Martin, especially the season he had. He started off well when he came to Rangers. Then he had a sender off against Celtic, and then you hear stories about his attitude and training and stuff, and just different other things he was involved in off the park, which you hear. Obviously, you don't know if they're true, but you hear them anyway. And then he gets loaned out to Sunderland. He wasn't playing every week either. So his confidence will be on the ground, and he comes back. And sometimes if you try too hard, it doesn't help you. But I agree with Ross. I think the boy's got talent. I think he's got ability. And unless we get a good offer or we've got a replacement, I would keep him because he's a good squad player to have. He's somebody you can play in games where, especially in European games, because Barker showed up in Europe a couple of times, especially if you're under the cosh, you need to hit the ball long. You need runners like that, Jones, Barker and stuff. I'm not saying they're the answer, but you need runners like that who can chase things, hold the ball up. So depends what he does in training, depends his attitude away for the football part, how Gerrard sees it. But I think he's still a 50-50 if he stays around or not.
Can I just say that obviously there's no incidents to talk about for the game. So in order to keep, we're going to discuss a couple of players. So in order to keep this going for any length of time, guys, get your comments in, get your questions asked, and ask any question you want, especially to Ross, because Ross has no filter. So just get those questions in. And Curry Muncher, you're going to, me and you're going to fall out. At least Wilf is jealous of your fringe, you know. Well, I don't think my fringe looks that bad.
Obviously, you've got one eye in Greenock, one eye in Glasgow, then, because it's absolutely shocking.
A big thank you now to Stuart Keane as well, who's become a member. This is mental. The amount of members we're getting is absolutely crazy. So, Stuart, thank you very, very much, and I hope you enjoy the extra content that you get behind the scenes. Kerr, one player I do want to speak about who really started to make an impression in the game was John Lundstrom. He had a great shot, obviously just outside the box, rattled the bar. Thought his tackling was excellent. Thought his all-round play was excellent. What did you make him?
Same as I done now week when he came on the park against Arsenal. I thought he changed a wee bit for us. I think he's strong. He likes to get forward. Keeps his passing sample. He's not he had a long range run right enough, which is a good pass, but he seems to keep everything sample. He wins the ball back. But the shot he had today was a great shot. He was a very unlucky hit the bar. So I think over the piece of this season, he's going to prove to be a great signing for us, because I think he'll get amongst the goals. And I think he's a kind of midfielder we need, box to box, but he's a goal scorer, because we're only getting a lot of goals from middle of the park at times last season. We're relying on Morelos quite a lot, so I think Lundstrom will come up with a few goals for us this season.
Can I just say, I didn't realise this was going to turn into the Martin Fringe show. Do you cut your fringe with a fork or a spoon? I'll have you know I paid £13 for this haircut.
The dog chewed it.
I was going to say that. I hope you're going to go back and get a rest date done.
Ross, what did you make of Brighton today? I must admit, I was expecting a lot more.
Their first pre-season game, Martin, minute. They're 2 weeks away from their season. So you think where we were in our first game, well, you're miles off at that point.
Ross, mate, some Premier League teams on their first few pre-season games can pull out quite decent scores away from home in Scotland.
Aye, like West Ham, scalping folk. That goalie's not got arms. He is armless, man. Yeah, wet man. Oh wow. I think I'm a better goalie than Barkas.
Hopefully Celtic sign you then.
Right, anyway, enough about them. Kerr, what did you make? Sorry, Ross, what did you make of Brighton?
I thought they were decent, mate. I thought they ran out of legs very early. You could tell we're a couple of weeks ahead of them in pre-season. I thought they had some decent players. They came, apart from that one shocker tackle, I thought the game was quite competitive, but no of OTT. I thought it was the perfect game to have the day, knowing that you're going to have your full first team out tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Just to get minutes in the legs.
I'm going.
The likes of the boy Sakara, getting him a wee run out the night, and then maybe get him 45 minutes tomorrow, just to get that initial the awe of the fans in the stadium, and before you start getting into business. So I would say I thought they were decent. I thought it was a very worthwhile exercise for both teams, to be honest.
Does it just show, though, Kerr, how far we've came, that regardless of where they are in pre-season, they're still a Premier League team, and if you ask me, I thought we were a better team. So it just proves that, when it comes to playing maybe a European game against better opposition, we've got the squad to do it.
We have, and you've seen that the last few seasons in Europa League, how well we play against teams that a good few years ago we wouldn't even have played against, or if they had to be beaten us quite easily. So it shows you how far we've came that wise. It was just the league we needed, and then eventually we've got that. So hopefully we can go into this Champions League, get through at the group stages, and show everybody what we're about.
Right, we've got a question for Sam Gaming, and Ross, Martin and Kerr, who do you think we should loan out and sell? Ross, I'll come to you first. Who should we loan out?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You're talking Middleton's, the ones that were out on loan last year. I don't think many of them have came back, apart from the boy Kelly, and look as if they could stake a place in my team. I think who else? Katic maybe go on loan, and Simpson will be the fourth man. So it depends as well. I was really delighted to listen to Connor Golson's interview earlier on, where he seemed to be talking about the next 2-3 years as if maybe that's a bit further along the line than we've been led to believe. So I think that a lot of the boys that were out on loan last year will go back out on loan or move away for minimal fees. Like say Edmondson, I don't think we've got a lot of money for him tonight. Do you know what I mean? I think there's just these will just be boys that we go in cheap and who'll get to let go cheap just to get them off the wage budget, because obviously we've progressed a good bit since we brought them in.
I know, look, it's a fair question, Kerr, because we've got to look at this and go, look, we've got a hell of a lot of players now. There's no way you can keep, number one, you can't keep that many players happy. And number two, you can't have that many players not getting a game and still paying them wages. So some people have to go.
Yeah, but they do, and I agree with you. And I think, like I said, the ones that was out on loan last season either go back on loan, which might not be beneficial for them in the long run because it shows you they're not going to be here. So if they can get any money for them, they will. And I was going to mention some of the young lads, but you don't know if they'll go out on loan or when they go to the B team, it's going to be playing the league. So you don't know what way that'll work, because like Stephen Kelly's had 2 loan spells and it's actually helped them going to the lower leagues. They play it, toughens you up. They're playing against not as good players, but playing against harder players, stronger players. So you can see how well it's developed him. So guys that's coming on like him need to go out on loan just to get first team football away from Rangers and see what it's like not being at Rangers, because some of the people that's here when they're young, they think they've made it and they need to realise the other side of football, and they come back more hungry to say, no, this is where I want to play. So you look at it for that side as well. But I think it depends who you bring in, Martin, because I think we're still 1 or 2 signings short having a squad, and it depends what happens to Alfredo as well. So I think that'll be over the next, obviously at the end of August that we'll see. But you can loan players out, or you can after the August window finishes anyway. So I think it will just probably be roughly the same guy. Middleton, to me, I'm 50-50 with him as well. I can see what he brings, but like Ross said as well, with St Johnstone, he was a big fish here. With Rangers, he's a bit timid, so I think he might actually be sold.
No, I agree with you. I do, and it's a shame because when Middleton, I mean, we've discussed this 1,000 times, but when Middleton first came in, it looked like he was going to be the next big thing. Question, which I will give you the answer to right away, which I think is no, but anyway, I'll ask it. Harry McLean, do Rangers change formation to get Patterson and Tav in the same team? Ross, for me, that's just a simple no.
I know. Because the gaffer, for me, no. But the gaffer's already told you he's looking. Can we play 4-1-4-1? Can we play to accommodate the two of them? I think it's a big season for Patterson, and that he's going to need to play games this season to continue his development. You've got one of the best young right backs. You're talking a player who, for me, looks, as much as you don't want to give praise to the City, Tierney levels are good. That's how good he looks. He could go for the same kind of money in the future. You can't really stunt somebody's growth like that. But then you've got your club captain who's playing in front of him. So is there a way to get the two of them in? I don't know. For me, it's a case of picking the player who's on form for that position. But I can see the benefits if you could get the two of them into the team, because the two of them can attack and then the two of them can defend, so they can essentially swap places between right back and right mid all game. But for me, I quite like the fluidity of the front three that we've got, who are you've got your Hadjis and Aribos, who are actual football players that can roam about, rather than having a right winger who's just going to stay out wide. Because Tav and Patterson, that would be what all they would really give you for me in right midfield, is again somebody who's going to overlap and put crosses in.
I know, to be fair to Patterson today, Kerr, I don't think he was outstanding or anything, but I thought he had a solid game.
Nathan just gets on with the job. I mean, sometimes you can't play well every week. Well, it doesn't look like you're playing well, but see if you get a 7 out of 10 performance every week, that does it for me, because it means you're putting a performance in that your teammates accept and the fans accept it. And like Ross says, I think he will play the two of them. I think he might actually look at doing it in European away games. We maybe not want to play Aribo in the middle of the park because defensively he's not the best. And I think Tav, if he plays in front of Patterson, I think Tav could play inside a bit more in the middle of the park. I think Nathan might struggle there because he's still young and learning. But whereas Tav started as a winger and a midfielder with Newcastle, and that was a wee while ago, but he's played there when he was younger, so he can probably get about the park more and get used to different positions. So it's just a wait and see. But I think the manager will do it to want to give Nathan more game time, but because he must like the two of them as well, and doesn't maybe want to leave any one of them out.
Mm-hmm. And listen, it was probably the most fun throughout the whole game, Ross, was every time Shane Duffy touched the ball. It was fantastic seeing him back at Ibrox, was it not?
Yes, it was. I seen a video of him actually celebrating with the fans when they were warming up, kind of having a bit of banter back, and I was glad it was like that, because at the end of the day, he was a major contribution to 55. That guy, he was every bit as influential. I still watch videos of that season and go to myself, "Wow, man! How he's an international football player, and he looked as if he was playing with concrete wellies on the wrong feet. I couldn't believe it. Some of the times you see him, really, really bad. But it was good to have him back. It was good to give him the hero's welcome he deserved, and it was good to see him taking it as a bit of banter as well. Do you know what I mean? It was good to see him kind of taking it on the chin, and just a bit takes on the chin. Do you know what I mean? Because
do you know what the big thing for me was? Obviously, Connor Goldson left Brighton, and I think that's when Shane Duffy came in. And I don't know if you noticed, Kerr, when Goldson came on, see some of his passing out for the back. It was next level. It was phenomenal.
Yep.
I think that's what Duffy lacks. I think he's a big, old-fashioned centre half, and he heads the ball, clears the ball, and that's where his game finishes. To be honest with you, I think it's Celtic he struggled because, to be honest with you, Celtic weren't great at the back end of defenders last season. And I think Big Duffy struggled there because they brought him in thinking he's going to be our talisman at the back. And he's not that type of player. When he was playing with Brighton, he's playing next to Lewis Dunk, who's a bit more a footballer. Duffy would just take the head of it and kick it. That's his game. Fling himself in front of the ball when folk were shooting. He's not this guy that can organise a defence. I think he struggled at Celtic because of that. But he was a big contribution to us last season, and he helped. We would have still won the league anyway, put it that way, but he helped us along the way.
We would have still won it, but I mean, he got the recognition for the Rangers fans today that he deserved. And just on that, Ross, what was it, 8,500? I think was in Ibrox today.
Yep.
God, I've missed it. And that noise. I mean, you wouldn't have thought that was only 8,500.
No, because you've been listening to nobody. So obviously, any noise is going to sound noisy. But it's good that we've got the fans back in. We've got to keep building on this now, Martin. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're looking down south and full stadiums and Wimbledons and motor racing full houses. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely no reason why we're limited. Even you look at the day that Celtic getting double the allocation we got on the same day in the same city. That doesn't make any sense to me, mate, to be honest with you. But it's good. I like the fact of the red flag day as well, to try and get a full house in for that. So I think the club's trying its best to accommodate and get as many fans in to celebrate together as one big happy Rangers family.
Aye. And we've got a point here for Jedi Bob that I have to read out because I think it's actually quite a fair point. Now he's got two comments, right? So the first one is, Kerr, I'd like to see us helping the three Dons, Hibs and Saints, Europa Conference League sides representing Scotland in European competitions because there is now more coefficient points on offer. Where do you stand? I think obviously that's when we were discussing, loaning out the likes of Middleton, Katic. So where do you stand on that, helping the teams that are maybe in European competition?
It doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. I think if Scottish teams can do well, it benefits us all in the long run. Because at the end of the day, the more the games they play in Europe, they're going to be resting players in the league, so that can help us because we've got a bigger squad of players. So it doesn't really bother me if we help other teams out. Because if we play with other teams, they help us as well because they take points maybe off Celtic, whoever's challenging us.
We should probably look, Ross, to loan them to the second best manager in the league last season, to that team.
Aye. St Johnson, aye. I think you're the second best manager in the league, aye, well, you look at last season, Jamie Murphy at Hibs scored goals, big performances, took points off Celtic. Boy Kerry dominated Celtic's midfield every time Ross County played them, for me. So there's definitely value in loaning players out to the same league that you're in. because essentially all you're doing is strengthening your opposition apart from the game where they play against you when they can't play. So you're strengthening Hibs for games against Aberdeen, games against Celtic, but then when they come to play you, the boys can't play. So for me, it's a double-edged sword.
Very true. Just before we go, because that's half an hour gone, that's mental. There's a comment for CGM, but it's so far up that I can't find it. But Kerr, the comment was along the lines that he's getting a little bit worried now at the lack of goals. And I think maybe that's one thing you maybe can take away from pre-season, that quite possibly the creativity's not quite there yet. But is that a worry for you? We don't know what's happening with Alfie. Gerrard's come out and had his say on it. He's obviously still on holiday. Itten up front, I mean, he looks good, but he's not scored a great amount of goals. The service doesn't seem to be great to him. Defoe constantly getting injured. Who's the other one? Who have I forgot? Roof, for God's sake, Roof. Obviously, Roof again is a worry with injuries. So is that kind of striking position, a bit of a worry?
It is, because like I said earlier, Morelos is kind of the main man for us. When he plays well, we kind of play it a lot better, that way. He does more than score goals, he leads the line really well. We've not got somebody that type of mould, and I don't care what we get from as in, well, I do care as in what we get, but it doesn't matter what we get from. It's going to be very, very difficult to get a similar type of player. I don't feel we have that on our books at the moment. Atton looks good at times, but he's a hit and a miss in front of the goals. Sakala, you don't really know what you're getting yet. Jermaine Defoe's 39, so... And Roof, I don't know if he was injured, because Clive Tills's comments didn't really sound great. He said it was agent or something else, so hopefully it's not. But I was just thinking, because he said 3 players are out, but they weren't injured, so I'm hoping it's not the other thing. But I don't know. I think if Alfie comes back as well, we don't know when he's going to come back. Is he going to be fit for European ties? And it's European ties, it's a worry for me. I think we should beat the opposition, but it's going to be a hard beat Malmo, because they're no mugs. There's not any mugs in Europe anymore. Do you know that way? So, as we know for ourselves under Pedro. So I think with Morelos missing, it will be more difficult, and you're relying on players like Kent and that to try and take us through.
Last word to you then, Ross, on this. Is that creativity, striking department a worry for you?
How many minutes have Roof, Aribo, Hadji, Barisic, Tav played in pre-season? No many. So they're your big creative players, aren't they? That's what we're talking about. We're back to the fact that we've gave your Joneses, players like that, we've gave all them their chance and they've not had any creativity. So that's what we're trying. For me, that's where we're at. We now need to get worrying. All your flair players are going to come back in, you're going to create chances. In answer to the Morelos question, everybody's seen the photos. For me, he looks like one of the boys who naturally, when he's not training every day, puts on a bit of weight. That's just the shape of his body. So for me, it's a worry that he's out in wherever he is, is he on holiday? But he was at a birthday party for his missus yesterday, eating cakes and whatever else. So for me, it's a worry that he's going to come back. You've got league kicks off in a week. Do you know what I mean? What kind of shape is he going to come back in? And then again, you've got the question of exactly what you're saying. You're going to lose him soon, whether it be this window, Christmas, whenever. So he's a 1 point failure in our team. We don't have anybody else that can do that job. So do we need to now look at altering the way we play so that we can play with a Itten? Does Lundstrom, does he become your guy who's going to break the lines for midfield, and you could play with maybe a Itten up front, and you would have your 2 guys coming in for wide, and you would also maybe have Lundstrom going forward and breaking the lines to try and get in the box and score goals. I don't know. That's why Gerrard's the manager, and I'm sitting in my kitchen talking to you, fine fellows. You know what I mean?
There's actually quite a bit of argument, I think, going on in the whole comments about it. But I think what has to be said, because there's been a lot levelled at Alfie, and some of it unfair. Alfie was back late with the Copa America, so he's taken his 3 weeks off, the same as everybody else has took their 3 weeks off. I understand that that's annoying, because he's obviously going to either not be fit, or he's going to miss the first league game of the season and I just had the same problem as Ross, and the Champions League qualifiers. But he's due a break, he's back home, blah, blah, blah. The whole stuff for the
Martin.
agent, yes.
See, if you think about it, see over the time Alfredo Morelos has been in Scotland, how many extra weeks a season does he get off? Because he's goes back to Colombia because he's suspended for 3 games. And how many? See, for me, see this year, this is so important for us this year to win the league. He went across to the Copa America and trained a couple of times. He hardly kicked a ball. So see, for me, he's had his break. See, I would like him back in the country.
Listen, so would I.
See, as a guy who is well paid, probably the highest earner in our team, and who's been given chance after chance after chance. For me, I would like to see him giving us a bit back and saying, do you know what, I'll just take a week and get back here, get myself fit, sharp, scoring. Because when's he due back? It must be during the week this week. We play Livingston next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to not have any games going into the start of the season. So he's not playing next week. Do you know what I mean? So how long does it take him to get back up to speed and scoring goals is my worry.
Well, do you know what? We'll discuss that on our Thursday podcast. We need to leave some discussion for that. We'll obviously be back tomorrow for reaction to Real Madrid. I won't be on as I'm going to the game. Ross, Kerr, guys, thank you very much. All right, don't say thanks back. That's all right. Just sit there and stare at me.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you are watching and you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you want to join and become a member, like we're to today, by all means, go ahead. It would be very, very much appreciated. I love Ross's fringe. That's looking phenomenal. I will have wax in my hair next time. Until Jedi Bob, good show, boys. Thank you very much, and thank you for becoming a member, Jedi. So, and until tomorrow, we shall speak to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.